Hey everybody, Perfect Castle here, and I'm really late to this news. I was so excited to make videos on it, but I was sick at the time. So 7 Days to Die has finally released its 2.0 update. This update has so many features, and I'm gonna go through the changelog now. I'm just gonna briefly show you guys some of the stuff I've encountered. Yeah, I'm currently playing Nava's game with one of my friends. And yeah, so the things that I've encountered myself, I'll go through the changelog afterwards, is they've definitely, so if you go to any of the biomes, there's biome progression now that you can enable or disable, like before you enter like the starting menu. Obviously there's no biome hazards to your plains biome, or I think it's called the pine forest. It's just Minecraft lingo where I'm calling it the plains biome. Also, I think it's Ark where you would call it a plains biome. But yeah, so then you have your snow biome, which now will have snowstorms and stuff. And since I haven't unlocked the snow badge yet, I have only unlocked the fire badge. I will not be able to stay there for pretty long. I will discuss now. So it's like if I go over here. Yeah, sorry, we're still very early in our playthrough. If I enter the snow biome, on the bottom left, just above my health bar, you'll see I have 2 minutes to survive in the snow biome. It was 1 minute before I unlocked the fire biome. But yeah, so now, if you don't do your progression through the biomes, you kind of have a shorter time in each of the biomes. Then if you check, I'm going to show off the biome badges. So you go to your survivor, top left you'll see you have your new progression. I have the fire biome badge, and it allows me to live in the fire biome. Also, they added a new skins cosmetics tab. I don't know how you unlock the skins, but I only recently unlocked the skins for the old primitive armor. Speaking of which, primitive armor no longer requires rare parts, which is, in my opinion, a really good change when crafting the primitive armor at level 6. Because I always felt like it was a waste, because it's like, who's gonna make a primitive revolver with rare armor parts? But anyway, these are all good changes and also bad changes. My view on the whole biome progression is I kind of preferred old console 7 Days to Die. If you went into a cold biome, you would get cold and you'd have to look for clothes to heat yourself up, and then in the hot biome you'd need to get clothes to cool yourself down. I'm not fully a fan of the way that it's implemented in the arcadey aspect, but I do kind of appreciate needing to work towards something when you try and if you and a bunch of friends want to play and you don't want everyone to be able to just go to the red biome, you have to kind of make it so that everyone starts off in the plains and kind of stays there for a bit. You can turn biome progression on, but I feel for a more survival friendly experience, I would say definitely switch that off. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think your loot stage, so if you go over to your character, they've made it so that it also depends on what biome you're in. Like it gets capped or something like that. So let's say I reach the maximum loot stage of the pine forest biome. I first have to meet the maximum needs of it in the fire forest before it can progress. Then you need to get your desert biome, then your snow biome, and then your red biome. So it's no longer gonna be beneficial for you to go to the red biome right off the bat, even though you probably wouldn't be able to in any way with how much the damages you take. Also, in all of the biomes, I'm gonna see if I can. I'm not sure if I can force a storm to happen, but each of the biomes have a biome storm, which in the plains biome has no effect. In the snow biome, a hurricane rolls in. It will, on the top of your screen, will show that you have 1 minute to find shelter, and then it will end up. If you don't go into a shelter and you're in a vehicle or something, or if you're out in the open, you're definitely gonna get frozen. Or in the desert, the sandstorm is gonna kill you. And then same for the radiation biome. There's a radiation storm that creeps up on you. And then I'm gonna see if I can find a new zombie for the snow biome. I've showed off in a couple of my older videos how the Plague Spitter will look, and also the Ice Claw. It's just I currently a bit away from the desert, so I want to go through the changelog now as well. But maybe I can find one of those Yetis. Apparently their rock throw attack does a lot of damage. I'm not seeing one. I think, yeah, it was yesterday or something. I came in for a supply drop and it kind of chucked a rock at me and I was like, oh, I'm being attacked. But yeah, I was dying to make this video, and apologies for being late firstly, and secondly for how unprofessionally I'm handling it. But yeah, let's go through the changelog quickly. So the release schedule was initially like the streamer weekend was the 13th to the 15th, and then it had like the experimental version from the 16th. All of that, they reached their deadlines, which I give mad props to for the fun pimps, because if it was wildcard, it would have all of that would have been delayed. Maybe I'm not used to the fun pimps like delaying stuff, because I haven't played the newer 7 Days to Die that much. Or I haven't played 7 Days to Die as much. I still love this game to bits though. But anyway. And then they announced that the full release would come out the 30th, which would be the Monday. But they've actually released it on the Friday prior, which for me... Oh, pistol. Damn. Now I'm happy. Which was impressive for me, because I wasn't like... I think I was ill, so I was in the bed and stuff, so I didn't even know that they released it early. But I wish Wildcard from Ark would also start announcing their release dates later and delivering their updates earlier, because for me it felt almost like a gift knowing that the game actually released an update earlier than they announced. It was like, ooh, I'm really excited. But anyway, I digress. I'm rambling on quite a bit. So we have the biome progression, which is something you can toggle in your world create menu. Then here are the biome lists and their severity. So we have the pine forest starting biome with no hazards. Then we have the burnt biome, which has the ember and thick black smoke up storm. Then we have the desert, which overcome the extreme heat. Then we have the snow biome, which has the overcome the extreme chill. The wasteland, conquer the high radiation. There are 7 challenges for each of the biomes, which I can quickly show off here. So if you go to your challenge menu and you go over you go over here to your challenge menu, you'll see there's a new tab here, which is the biome progression. So we've completed the one for the desert biome. Not the desert biome, the scorched biome. And then you can see for each of the other biomes, each of them have 7 new things. So it's like spend 20 minutes. I think it was 15 in the... Yeah, it's 15 minutes in the fire biome. It's 20 minutes in the desert biome. It is 25 minutes in the snow biome, and it's a full 30 minutes in the radiation biome, which is insane. Then we have loot any 5 containers, which is a shared thing amongst all of them, just going over up to 20 in the radiation biome, so all of them go up by 5. Then we have kill 5 zombies, kill 10 desert sputters, which is pretty cool because they're forcing you to fight the new zombie. Ooh, you have to kill 15 snow claws. And then over here we have the wasteland, we have mutated zombies. And then we have harvest. Something I do know that I've seen in the stream while being ill. Apparently the ores and stuff have been redistributed. So each of the biomes kind of have a specialty. Like, you can still find all of the ores except for oil, shale, and all of the biomes, but now it's like you're gonna find sulfur a bit easier in the fire biome, you're gonna find coal a bit easier in the snow biome, and I think in the radiation biome you're gonna find lead a bit easier. But anyway, so harvest 500 of each of their resources, and the thing is also, you have to harvest it in the biome, because me and my friend found some nitrate powder here in the pine forest biome, and it didn't count up, so you have to harvest it in the biome that it's in. So then you have to craft the smoothies, which is pretty cool. I like the smoothies, they just don't sound very appetizing to me. So if we go over here, you can craft them in your own menu. You don't have to use a cooking pot or yeah, let's go over to, I think it's here, smoothie. Smooth. yeah, so here you get your smoothies. So for your fire biome, you're gonna make basically like a very savory tasting smoothie because it's got coal, it's got some plant fiber, and it's got some mushrooms and water. Don't know how it's a smoothie because it doesn't have ice in it, because the yucca smoothie has ice in it, and also the snow biomes has ice in it. But anyway, so basically you're just drinking cold water with mushroom flavor. Then for your desert biome, so we have the Oasis one, which is some aloe vera, which I could still tolerate in my smoothie with some mushrooms, but I don't know how you're drinking oil shell. That's kind of nasty, but anyway, so you have these 4 new smoothies. Then we have, for the frost biome, it actually sounds like the nicest one. Like, you have animal fat, which kind of sounds a bit nasty, but it's not that bad. And then we have, like, the snowball, and we have the blueberry. So it's basically a blueberry smoothie, which actually sounds good. And then we get to the atomic smoothie, which I can't see how anyone would ever drink it, because you're using a bottle of acid, you're eating radiated mushrooms, so these mushrooms have absorbed the radiation. We have super corn, which is insane because it's like a laboratory produced corn. I can't think that it's very appetizing. And then we have yucca fruit, which is the only viable flavor, I guess, for this. But anyway, so yeah, we have the new smoothies, we have the new challenges. So we have the biome progression toggle, which you can enable. So you can, it says caps automatically, your loot stage caps, in addition to the biome hazards, each biome will have a progression loot stage. So the loot stages will help to encourage players to explore each biome and seek out higher tier loot. Low caps are increased by progression forward through each biome. So each biome kind of has a new loot cap stage. Sorry, I'm reading off while playing. I probably should have recorded the B-roll in the background. I'm probably going to use this in the future just for B-roll. But anyway, so you have your caps automatically increasing when you trigger into the harder biome. So let's say you increase your radiation by... Okay, so I think I understand how that works now. So basically, all the biomes currently have the same loot stage until you unlock the next biome. So if I was to go into the radiation biome, because if I'm here, I think my loot stage is 26. If I enter the fire biome, it goes up to 46, which is almost double. I think it's gonna be capped at 46 for the snow biome until I unlock the snow biome or the desert biome. So the loot stages are capped at whatever the previous biome is that you've unlocked for the next biomes. So if that makes sense. So yeah, so raise the cap in certain biomes, complete the next higher biome challenges, continuing to progress and complete more biome challenges will keep raising the cap. So the cap will continue to raise every time you basically complete the next biome. So the loot cap is off, off if the biome progression is off. So okay, so if you switch biome progression off, then at least you don't have to worry about that. So then it's just like how old 7 Days to Die used to be, where each biome just has better loot depending on the biome and the difficulty of the POIs and stuff like that. So biome resources, so they've reallocated the biomes, which is something I did say. The exploration ore types have been redistributed across the world. Each biome now favors specific ores. So iron ore is more common in the pine forest. We have potassium nitrate is more in the burn forest, oil shell in the desert, coal in the snow biome, and then I was correct on the redistribution, which ores went to where. Then we have the dynamic storm system, which we can hit a storm. We have overhauled the storms. So basically there are thunderstorms for all biomes. We have the ember storm for the burned forest biome. It damages players. So the thunderstorm doesn't damage players. So all of these others do. So the sandstorm for the desert biome damages players. The snowstorm damages players. And then we have the wasteland, the radiation storm, which damages players. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they each do more damage depending on the biome, regardless of what your loot stages and stuff like that. So Storms bring update. Storms will occur occasionally with some random variation in time and can... Okay, so you can't predict what kind of storms you'll be... or when you're gonna get a storm, so it's like very randomized. So the storm frequency option adjusts how often you can get storms, so you can change it from 0 or 500 for 5 storms or more. So you can basically select how frequently you want storms in the create menu, which is pretty cool. So if you want your biomes to constantly have storms and struggle to survive in them, you can, or you can completely switch them off if you don't like the new storm system. So then the player will hear a warning, so it's like a siren. Yeah, I remember me and my friend got like a heart attack when the sirens went off for the firestorm. The HUD message is for 60 seconds, so it's a minute. So the storm buffer, this will display on the left, so you can see on your left hand side of your screen, and if the storm, like you're being damaged by the storm. So there where you can see my thirst, it will show above there. So if you're in a snowstorm, it's going to show that you're taking damage from the snowstorm. Note if you have not gained your biome badge, seeking shelter will only protect you from the storm. So that makes sense. So you're not able to, like, if you don't have a biome badge, don't think that you can like survive the biome. You can only survive the storm in shelter. So your timer's still gonna go down, and you're gonna end up like incinerating or radiating or freezing or whatever the prospects of that would be. So then we have the... Okay, so there's a Navis game update. So they added new POIs from the 2.0 update to Navis game. They updated new player spawn point to spawn on player. So now you can spawn on friends and stuff like that. Also, they've changed the biome borders to not be as linear. Now they're pretty much jagged and stuff, which I could figure kind of all this stuff. It looks good. Increase the density of wilderness POIs, so there's more POIs in the wilderness now for Navis game. Updated down city in the wasteland biome. Teleport to starter Trader Joel. So it sounds like they changed something for the wasteland. Replaced POI traders across every biome. So they've... Yeah, I've noticed that they did move wrecked, because I've played on Navis game, I think on every version of 7 Days to Die. On the old 7 Days for console, and then also I've played on Navis game when 7 Days to Die, the new version, came out for console. Oh yeah, for console edition. And yeah, so wrecked is no longer... Like, my old house used to be very close to wrecked. Oh yeah, you can see some nitrate powder. If I mined this, it would not have like counted towards that. But yeah, so wrecked is moved, and a bunch of the traders have moved to be closer to the cities. So new zombies and higher game stage zombie classes. So we have the Plague Spitter, which is a zombie which spits out a swarm of insects, which we kind of knew from when they were teasing them. The infested bugs can like cause you to get bleeding or get a bunch of other negative effects, like the vultures and the dogs. So I guess it's like animals in 7 Days to Die have a high chance of giving you like infections and stuff. My friend is gonna kill me because I can see it's Horde Night, and I'm playing without him. So when he's gonna join in, it's gonna basically be Horde Night. But anyway. So we have changed, we have the Frost Claw, which came to the snow biome, which he's a big zombie, does a lot of damage. He throws big rocks at you, which I think does 150 at the highest difficulty, so I would not be able to survive one of those rocks right now. So then we have the charged blue zombies, which are immune to electricity, or like at least they don't stay stunned as long. They have a higher game stage. They have than the radiated zombies, so their attacks do more damage to players. They run faster. The radiation green zombie, yeah, they heal like the normal radiated zombies, and then they do more entity damage. So they don't do a lot of structure damage. They do less structure damage. Then we have the infernal zombies, which do higher structure damage. So when you're in a horde base, you're gonna want to get rid of these guys really quickly. They have a higher health stage than the standard radiation zombies. They have... Wait. So also these zombies also have a split in them. So it's the bigger, fatter zombies like Big Mamas and like lumberjacks and stuff like that. They can be infernal, where the leaner, faster zombies can be charged. But yeah, the infernal zombies are immune to fire, and also they are slower. Yeah, they're slower than zombies. Okay, so they're slower, but they're tankier, I guess. So zombie spawn improvements, so we've added functionality to allow zombies to spawn and crawl through smaller spaces in certain POIs. We have improved spawning and respawning of enemies by making increased use of scripts spawning. So basically, POIs are gonna be a bit better when it comes to like the type of zombies and stuff you get. You will notice an increased use of roaming zombies. So there, the thing is, in all 7 days, like I think in the first updates, I think 1.0 or something like that, they kind of had roaming zombies in POIs, but it wasn't really a thing. Most of the zombies would be like idle, and if you were sneaking into a POI, you could just like John Wick a lot of them. But now you can kind of have to be cautious of zombies that are roaming in the POIs. And yeah, like I said, I've noticed that as well. So we have perk updates, so they've redistribute all the perks. So now if we check over here, I've also noticed this. We go over to skill trees, and now they have a general tab, which you can put your lucky leader in, which I've already maxed out. And you have lockpicker, living off the land. So these are all the perks that I feel everyone kind of needs, and they kind of added them as such. Also, in each of the different skill trees, you have like a mastery thing now, which is like, look, for intelligence mastery, you get different buffs. So it's like vehicles take 20% less damage. It's not even like these other perks where it gets better over time. So it's like, let's say we go over to bartering. So your bartering would get better with like 5% each of the time. No, these are like a bunch of different skills you unlock when you unlock the mastery perks. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So all attributes have 10 perk points. Each perk has 5 levels. So basically, if you want these mastery things, you're gonna have to max out the basic thing on top. So like, let's say my strength has 5. So in order for me to unlock my strength, which has 5, I need to get all 10 points into strength. And then each attribute has a new mastery perk. Then we we'll just let you discover these details on your own. Some attributes have new or updated perks. Yeah, they've changed what some of them do. So strength has a bunch of changes. Sledgehammer Saga is a new group of books introduced. So that the thing is, like, I think in the past almost all of the weapons and tools had like a specialty book. So you could kind of like, I think sledgehammers reached a point where it's like they're really good, and a lot of people still use them. But there was almost no benefit because you didn't get any books that gave you extra little buffs for using a sledgehammer. It was just the pure sledgehammer, like, doing its thing. So it's like the sledgehammer does a lot of damage, so you use it. And then we have the new DLC, which I've noticed. So if we go to 7 days to die, 7 days... 7 days to die, so we go in here. And then we go down here. We should be able to see DLC. So you have the new desert armor. We have the new hoarder armor, and we have the... Wait, what's this? Marauder armor. Yeah, that's pretty much that when it comes to DLC. They've added new trees and foliage, so foliage is a bit more dense. They added a new tree to the, I think the, oh, it's, yeah, my friend is really gonna kill me. They've added new trees to the radiation biome, which looks more twined, and yeah, they added a lot of new POIs. So random gen was also improved. Apparently the roads and stuff have been made to sync up a bit better. Oh, also another thing. Yeah, that's the thing I've also noticed in the very beginning. You can also... okay, let's quickly get this can of cat food. Yummy. You can see I actually have a structure or item in my hand now. And then if I eat it, it actually opens the can and it eats it. So a lot of new things, like if you take steroids and stuff, all of them have new animations. And also, wait, what's the other thing? So it has the new animations, it has the new food. Let's check again. I apologize. I do apologize for how unorganized this is. Food. They have added 100 new POIs. Exciting news is we're gonna get third person somewhere in a 2.1 update or 2.2 update. Fun Pumps have confirmed that on Twitter at some point. Yeah, they added new little flags for when you have a quest that you have to be doing. You have spawn your friends, which is a new setting you can enable, so then you can spawn on friends instead of like spawning in the wilderness. It has Discord implementation now, so now you can like, I actually sent this to my friend the other day, like he needs to become my Discord friend. So then it's like you can like use game chat in Discord, you can see who's online, you have, no one's playing 7 Days to Die, I have one friend online, so which is Poppy, I have no idea who that is. And then we have offline people, so yeah, you can see a bunch of like Discord related things with the Discord implementation now. We have crossplay servers. On Netrata I've seen, I'm gonna just go to the main menu, I don't want my friend to fully chop my head off. But anyway, so crossplay servers are a thing now. It looks like they're capped at 8 players. Yeah, they're capped at 8 players. I thought it was just Netrata, but it looks like currently 8 players is the thing. Depends on the client. Server max 8 players. Will all friends of a different platform. For crossplay servers, you can always play on your multiplayer games, PS5, Xbox Series X, and cannot join dedicated servers without mods. Okay, so we can't join. Console players can't join currently with. Let's create a new game quickly, and then we. Okay, so we add a save. Let's add a save. Okay, so we say new game. And we don't pick Navis game. We pick random gen. Let's pick random gen. And then I guess we just do that, and then we check quickly the settings that they mentioned as well with so multiplayer, you can see not much has changed. And advanced, I think this is where you'd end up, so where's biome progression? And weather, I think it's under basic maybe. Yeah, biome progression on, and then the weather thing, yeah, storm intensity is 100%, which is the standard, so I can make that 0 if I don't want any storms, and then I could like make it 500 if I want 5 storms a day. So yeah. But anyway, so server config files have been put on their changelog. They have a bunch of new audio changes. They added a DLSS update, they added performance, they added changes and fixes. In the 2.0 update, there's a massive list of fixes. And yeah, that's kind of the things we want to see from a game dev studio. I know Fun Pumps have a tendency to over-nerf things. I think that's why they also added the crawling thing, because like, if you could see in the footage, we added, let's quickly start this world. If you saw in my footage, I had like the old horde base kind of going there. So the thing is like, I'm assuming the new crawling and stuff is kind of to negate that, so they can go through smaller blocks and stuff. And in the past they've made it so that zombies can do more digging damage and stuff, because people used to make their bases underground and stuff, which is insane. But yeah, I'm really happy with what the Fun Pimps have done, and yeah. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. There's probably a bunch of stuff I missed, and I apologize for that. I was just really excited to make a video about it. And yeah, like always, I hope you all have a lovely day, and peace.